Hey folks, how's it going? Granblue had its summer stream a couple of days ago, and outside of the hour-long merchandise segment, there was some interesting news, so let's go over it. First thing first, congratulations to all the Vera fans for finally getting her in Versus. Sadly, this wasn't a full trailer and you're going to have to wait until December for her actual release, but they teased her Lumiere Merge version, so hopefully she'll have a fun mechanic. As for us, the news began with a slightly late reveal for Summer Tabina and Summer Zalamelina, the first bringing plenty of autocasting skill damage and pairing strangely well with the new Dark Bow, the second bringing a field that lets you crit off element and a 5 turns damage cap up, and Echo as well as a 3k supplemental damage on crits. On the next Flash Fest instead, we'll be getting an extremely cute Summer Shalem, and finally even Shiva is going to get his seasonal limited. The elements haven't been mentioned, but it's safe to assume that Shiva is going to stay in Fire, while Shalem is a bit of a wild card. In terms of elements, Fire has gotten Kumbira, Izmir and is about to get Shiva, Water has gotten Andira and Siegfried, Poseidon isn't a summer unit, Earth has gotten Ilnot and Metera, while Dark got Meg and Tabina. The only elements with a single new summer character remain Wind, Ingui, and Light, Zalamelina, and I could see Shalem go either way, even if I'm hoping a bit more for Light. The new summer summon goes to Mandragora, originally an R-Earth one, and in her art we can spot Sleepyhead playing with Angelic Cascade, while the Arcarum Slug walks in the background. In an unspecified soon, we'll also get the new EX poses for Yukata Siegfried, Summer Chloe and Summer Diantha, while the new paid skin for Fro and Lobelia are already out. Frux's one looks quite melancholic, I wasn't really expecting a swing in mood like that, while the Lobelia one has a home screen line with a recording of a girl being eaten alive by a shark. That ended up shocking quite a few people apparently, as if they didn't know that he was a murderous psychopath. Moving on with the news, the Augustan cap goes to another woman who deserves some justice, Helles. It looks like it's her Fire version and we'll be getting it about 10 days before the Guild War. Fire already has plenty of assassins and Tien is about to unlock her Transcendence as well, so I'm really curious to see how she's going to turn out and if she'll be able to find a spot for herself in there. The uncap will be related to the new story event as well, so we can expect more Skatasha, Serul and Noise too. Maybe. Next up are the Eternal Transcendence. Neon is looking pretty nice with the other Eternals floating like cherubs around her, and Tien, oh man, Tien. That is one beautiful piece of art, and I can't wait until I can start working to uncap her. There is one piece of it that is fairly distracting though, and it's just how much fun Fifi is having with those guns in her hands. That looks a bit dangerous. To curb a lot of people's enthusiasm though, it looks like the Eternals will be stuck at level 130 if you haven't completed the full level 100 bingo. And in order to unlock the level 140, it's going to take some extra treasure on top of it, while the level 150 is going to be a unique item. This is going to change my plans a little bit, but I want to see the full level 150 kits before deciding what path to take to get there. After the rest of the beast with a bit of pendants change and still no gold bar or ring added to the shop, on the 23rd we will also have a Xeno Ifrit rerun with the new AX skills added to its weapons. Once again, normal attack, CA damage and stamina are going to be the skills to look out for, even if I did get some use out of a high defense and enmity plus 3 sword last Guild War. With Shion existing in Fire, the new skills on the katanas might actually get quite a bit of use. As already announced, the next Guild War will begin on September 8 and will have wind enemies. They mentioned the new main story quest chapters and apologized for their release taking so long, promising to do something about it. And let's hope they really do. It feels like the game can't really stand on the monthly events alone, and we need some main story progression to introduce relevant new characters and bosses. Speaking of story events, Alchemist's Stray will join the side stories on August 24th, and will be followed by Divergent Knighthood on September 21st. Again, with no actual release date, Arcarum Sandbox is going to get 4 new areas and 12 new weapons, as well as new guidebooks, new pages for the existing guidebooks, and we'll also finally get the 4-star uncap for the New World Foundation weapons. Not only that, they will also be adding AX skills to the primal tier weapons. Ancient XX, Oberons and Perseus are currently the most used ones, while the Nalakuvara has its moments to shine in OTK setups. The Artemis still looks like a bit of a meme, but we'll be dropping so many that trying out an enemy grid for fun isn't even going to cost that much. From the non-Magnus side, the Bow of Sigurd sees some use, the Indra's Edge carries Garrison, and it's going to work great with an enmity mod on it. And so does the Sleipnir shoe. Keeping on the grid improvements, we'll also be getting an extra 2 summon slots that will be dedicated to sub-auras. The summon placed in there won't grant any stats and will not be available to be called, but they will still grant their sub-aura effect. This is quite literally a Belial slot. You can pick him and isolate him down there, away from your summon grid, leaving him in the only company of summons you don't have to need to call for, but who can still bring some good effects like some HP boosting Arcarum ones or some of the Crest ones. The constant release of new summon series kind of made this a necessity, but I'm afraid there aren't anywhere near enough Sunlight Stones in the world to max them all out. Personally, I still need about 12 of them and I don't even have Belial and Metatron yet. Next up, a button that takes away the confirmation menu from calling summons. And at the sight of the new Angel Halo Pro skip, everyone cheered, only to be forced back to reality when it was clarified that it would be a once-a-day thing. Still, 10 runs with a single button press and a guaranteed dimensional halo are better than nothing. We'll take our skips when we can get them. Moving on, the Combat System 2.0 interface from the upcoming boss attacks is going to be implemented to the normal fights as well. This should remove some of the guesswork for what's going to happen next, but outside of charge diamond attacks, I'm curious to see how they're going to implement it. Standard bosses are usually reactive instead of proactive. They perform certain attacks because the player push into their HP triggers, so maybe it will warn the players on where said triggers are placed as well. After that, there was a teaser for an upcoming crew resort island. This is supposed to let you and your crew manage a territory that will grant some buffs in battle, and it looks interesting enough. Hopefully they won't leave us hanging for too long for this. Speaking of buffs, it looks like MC is about to get quite a few, with the class levels increasing to 30 and each class gaining an alternate colored sprite at level 10, a new passive at level 20, and an improvement to the base skill at level 30. Depending on the skill improvements, it might make some older classes come back to life in a world dominated by relic busters. In terms of new bosses though,
Super Ultimate Bahamut.
Is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
the silhouette is the same as Ultimate, so it's clear that they don't even have that one ready, but apparently Rage of Bahamut has quite a few more versions too. Other than the Proto, the Standard and the Ultimate, there's a Creation Bahamut, another Bahamut, Albion Bahamut, Shadow Bahamut, and lastly Eclipse Bahamut. If they really want to add the whole series, it's going to take quite a few years to go through them all. The new Bahamut raid is going to bring new uncaps for his and the Ultima Weapon series, so maybe there's going to be a little bit more racism and classism coming back when it comes to team building. While they don't stack with Dark Opus keys, the Ultima weapons can still bring a different form of cap up, so we'll see what will happen once they get released. The stream concluded with a few slides about the current events and rate up scheduling. A collab for Granblue Dark War in which they will get Jita as a new character, but for which we will only get 3k crystals, and the announcement for a surprise collab in October. Overall, it wasn't that bad in terms of news, but I think it left a bit to be desired. Most of the same content, more AX skills, and a bit of a hard wall when it comes to the Eternal Transcendence weren't exactly good news. Meanwhile, the new raid series that was mentioned last Christmas is still nowhere to be seen, and the next big raid already feels like recycled content. On the bright side, the new class levels seem interesting enough, and the new World Foundation weapon and caps might lead to the Evokers getting their full limit break announced between Christmas and the anniversary stream. Alright then, that's going to be it for me for the moment. Let me know your thoughts about the upcoming content down in the comments, and as always, thanks a lot for watching, and see you soon. Ciao!